If you're dreaming about moving to Canada today, don't just listen to this like another video. Stop for a moment and really absorb this. This is not a casual dream anymore. This is a life-defining decision. A decision that can change your income, your lifestyle, your exposure, your future family, and even the opportunities your next generation will have. But here's the truth most people avoid. Dreaming feels productive. Execution feels uncomfortable. That's why most people stay stuck. They watch videos daily. They follow pages. They save posts. They talk about Canada with friends. They plan everything in their head. But they don't move. And slowly, without realizing, months turn into years. The system moves forward, but they stay in the same place. Now understand this clearly. The system has changed. Not slightly. Completely. And the biggest mistake right now is this. People are still using old thinking in a new system. They believe, let me just increase my CRS score. Let me just retake IELTS again. Let me just wait a little more. But the truth is, that strategy alone is no longer enough. Because today, express entry is not just about high scores, it's about the right fit. And if you are not the right fit, even a high score won't save you. Let's slow down and look at your situation honestly. You worked hard, you collected documents, you prepared for IELTS, maybe once, maybe twice, maybe even more. You created your profile, you entered the pool. And then what? You waited. You checked updates. You followed draw results. You compared your score. You calculated again and again. Maybe next draw. Maybe next month. But nothing happened. And that waiting, that silence, that slow frustration, it starts affecting you mentally. You begin to doubt yourself. You start thinking, maybe this is not for me. But listen carefully. This is not about your capability. This is about your alignment. Because the question Canada is asking today is not, who is the best overall? The question is, who do we need right now? And that one shift changes everything. There was a time when CRS score was king. People were chasing 470, 480, 500 plus. And yes, that worked before. But today, Canada is not selecting blindly. It is selecting intelligently. It is choosing candidates based on current labor shortages, industry demand, economic goals, long-term workforce planning, which means if your profile matches what they need, you win. If it doesn't, you wait. No matter how hard you worked, no matter how many attempts you gave, no matter how much effort you put in, this is not emotional selection. This is strategic selection. Now think about this deeply. Two candidates exist. One has 490 points, another has 430, and the 430 candidate gets selected. Why? Because that person fits a category Canada needs. That is not unfair. That is efficient. And this is where most people lose the game. They keep chasing points, but ignore positioning. They try to improve numbers, but ignore relevance. Now understand something powerful. Your CRS score is not just a score, it's a message. It tells Canada who you are, what you bring, how valuable you are. Your age shows your long-term potential. Your education shows your intellectual strength. Your work experience shows your practical ability. And your language, that shows whether you can survive and succeed. And right now, language is one of the strongest filters. If you are not achieving CLB 9 or higher in IELTS, you are not just losing points. You are losing opportunities. Because Canada wants people who can communicate clearly, work effectively, integrate quickly. Language is not just a requirement. It is your entry key. Now, let's go deeper. Where is the real opportunity right now? Category-based draws. This is the biggest shift in the system, and also the most ignored. Canada is now selecting candidates from specific sectors like healthcare, IT and tech, skilled trades, agriculture, transport. Now pause and think. If your profession falls into these categories, you are not just another applicant, you are a priority. Your chances increase massively, even with a lower score. But if you are not in these categories, then your strategy must change. You need to compensate. Stronger language, better experience, higher score, or a different pathway. But here comes the biggest mistake. People don't even understand their no-see code. They guess, they assume, they copy others, and that one mistake can cost them years. Because in immigration, small mistakes have big consequences. You need clarity, you need precision, you need awareness. Now let's talk about something that can completely change your journey. The Provincial Nominee Program. This is not just another option, this is a game changer. Each province in Canada has its own needs, its own shortages, its own priorities. And when your profile matches, they nominate you. And that nomination gives you 600 extra CRS points. Not 20, not 50, 600. That means you go from waiting to almost guaranteed selection. But here's the truth. PNPs don't come to people who wait. They come to people who act, people who research, people who target, people who align. If you are passive, nothing will change. Now, let's talk about something serious. Shortcuts, fake experience, weak documentation. Some people try to adjust things. They think no one will notice. Everyone is doing it. Let me just fix this small gap. But understand this clearly. This is not a small risk. This is a life risk. Because Canada's system is strict. They verify everything. They cross-check records. They analyze patterns. And if something doesn't match, you are rejected. And in some cases, you are banned, which means your future is blocked. So remember this. There is no shortcut. Only strategy. Only honesty. Only preparation. Now let's talk about mindset. Because this is where everything changes. Express entry is not luck. It is clarity. If you are confused, you will stay stuck. If you are clear, you will move forward. Ask yourself honestly, can I push my IELTS score higher? Can I improve my work experience? Can I move into a high-demand field? Can I target a province strategically? These are not random questions. These are life decisions. Now, let's talk about the biggest hidden enemy, delay. Time feels harmless. But in this system, time is expensive. Every year, your age increases. Your points may drop. Your competition increases. Your chances shrink. People say, I'll do it next year. I'll prepare more. I'll start later. But later becomes never. And while you wait, someone else is preparing. Someone else is improving. Someone else is getting selected. That is reality. The competition is global. From India, Pakistan, Philippines, thousands of applicants are entering every month. And Canada, it is not slowing down. It is becoming smarter, more selective, more strategic. But here's the most important part. You still have a chance, a real chance, but only if you change your approach. Stop guessing. Start strategizing. Stop delaying. Start acting. Stop copying. Start understanding yourself. You don't need to be perfect, but you must be intentional. From today, do things differently. Study the system deeply. Analyze your profile honestly. Fix your weak areas. Upgrade your strengths. Take control. Because at the end of the day, Canada is not given to those who just hope. It is earned by those who prepare. So now ask yourself, are you really ready? Ready to step out of comfort? Ready to face your weaknesses? Ready to do what most people avoid? Because maybe your invitation is not far, but it will not come to someone who is waiting. It will come to someone who is moving. So the final decision is yours. Will you stay where you are, thinking, planning, waiting, or will you finally take control and move toward the life you've been dreaming about?